guys? It's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are finally here, guys. It was a long journey, like years, but we are here. We are here with the spinoff that so many of us Rashone fans have been praying for, waiting for, crying for, dying for, you name it. That is The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. It is finally here. Y'all, I was one of those people. For those of you who've been watching my Walking Dead reactions, you know that I'm a huge Rashone fan. I wish I had been reacting to, well, just reacting in general online when they got together back in season 7. I was kicking and screaming and literally like twirling my feet, everything. I was over the moon when these two got together. This is a ship that I've been behind since season 4 of The Walking Dead. This is a ship that I really didn't think I'd ever get a chance to see come to fruition, but it did. Listen, I do not have a good history with the ships that I like. Usually they end up going the way of the dodo, but thankfully this is one that worked out and I loved it. I love Denai and Andy. I love their story on the show, and I was devastated when, of course, Andy had to leave the show and we had that break in that relationship. But of course, we had the announcement all those years ago that there would be this spinoff, that we get the completion of their story. We weren't going to be left hanging like we were when Rick left the show. And we just, you know, it went, guys. We waited. Like, we were like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And we just never heard anything until last year when we finally heard that they started filming. And so hope was restored. And now here we are. Finally in 2024, we are here. And I'm so happy that we're here. I'm so happy that we get a chance to finally watch this. So all the reviews of this have been amazing. There's been a handful of reviewers who've gotten a chance to watch at least a couple of episodes early. And they all said that they were absolutely blown away, loved it. It's well done. Andy and Denai both had directing hats on for this, and Denai actually wrote an episode apparently as well. So again, these two people, there's no bigger Rick and Michonne shippers than Andy and Denai. So I am very, very excited that we're going to get a good product here. I mean, they're also phenomenal actors with great chemistry, so I know that regardless, we were going to get something good. So it looks like we're going to have only 6 episodes, which again, for me is going to be too short, but I'm going to revel in every single one. We're going to start out with episode 1, which is called Years. So I'm excited to jump in, but just before I do, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. If you would like to know when I upload more episodes of this particular show or watch some of my reactions to the parent show, The Walking Dead, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. And if you like this video, please show some love. I want all the Rashoners in the comments, please. I need to hear what you're thinking about this, okay? All right, that out of the way, guys. Let's get into the episode right now.
We're in here together.
We're gonna live.
Carl!
Maybe even each other.
Still don't forgive them for that.
So you're the one who can.
Not the bridge episode, please, y'all. Don't start with the trauma so soon. I'm trying to remember if this was in... not Tales of the Walking Dead. What was the other one that I watched? World Beyond. It's been a while. That's a man. That's a dedicated man drawing his baby on a phone. No, Ricky, no. No, boo. No. No. No, baby, you're a fighter. You did not come this far. You did not come this far. No. But it shows you how far Rick has No, not this opening shot. That's beautiful. Yeah, that needs to be my background, my screensaver. Sorry. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm just sitting here with all the beautiful little shipping photos we're getting. But no, for real, to understand that like what Rick has been through, like he's been through so much, the worst you could say of the apocalypse. And for him to be at that point, because he's detached from his family and the things that drive him, that's so real. Because Rick is a fighter, but he needs something to fight for. 5 years after the bridge. Okay. Getting a flashback. What are these? Are these crops?
Military thanks you for signing up for this voluntary
Vol
assignment.
Wow. Okay. Wow. They have them on leashes. Or is it just Rick? Maybe it's just Rick, which I get. Rick's a bit of a... He's spicy. Was that necessary? No! No, 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 please, no, no! Oh, no, 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 please. No, please. I know in the comics it happens, but please, no.
This is how.
Oh, no, no, please, Rick. No, Rick, why? Why? No. You need both hands to grab Michonne's body. Jesus. No. I mean, I know it's canon, but I always love that they changed this. All right, we gotta suck it up. It's done. Rick, you're gonna bleed out, bro, before you get anywhere. Oh, I guess you're sticking your hand in that really, really bacteria-infested corpse, huh? All of that, and you didn't even get away, Richard. No one can say Rick was not dedicated to getting out, that's for sure.
Excuse me?
Oh, new scene.
I don't.
And
just
Michonne
know
in
where
braids.
things
Can we
are.
just deep that for a second instead of the dreads?
I believe in you.
Aw, is this his fevered delusion?
Are you where you want to be?
With the eye contact, y'all. That's a nice dream. Distract from the fact that you no longer have a hand. Richard, why?
This is most of it, but all of it, it was always about getting back to you.
How many phones does he have?
Security and secrecy above all. That's the Army's code, so no one can leave, ever.
But I didn't ask to come here. Okay, I think y'all have more effective ways of taking out walkers. Like area of effect, dropping type of explosives.
Could have used the other hand, huh?
Shut up.
I kept trying to get away, so they put me on a leash when we went out into the world.
Like them little babies in the malls, you know, put a little leash on them.
I was trapped.
Yeah, you see what happens when you leash people? Rage. Close your mouth, sir. You don't need to get blood all up in your mouth.
There's no escape for the living. I left the uniform in your apartment.
That's the bar. This is the hard decision, right? What do you do to survive? Is it more important to go out on your pride or do what you need to do to survive? But I get him. He doesn't want to survive without Michonne.
You showed me I can't get away.
All right. Happy drinking. Your place is significantly nicer than the ones we saw in World Beyond, that's for sure.
Can I touch it?
Ew!
Nah, just playing. Jokes,
Are
man.
you? I think you meant it.
For us consignees, though, we see that good life, man. You know, they got air conditioning, man. Air conditioning. I mean, no more
Well, the
sweat bags,
fact
you
that
know?
this is the highlight of life now is AC.
My consignment is over.
Happy for you, bro.
I'm about to be inside the walls, bitch. A citizen.
I should have got you a gift.
Come on, Rick, what the hell are you gonna get me? A scowl?
He's pretty good at it. I'd take a Rick scowl.
Shit, man, you might as well sign up just to get them off your back. You know, and then make your next move when you're out there scavenging for twine or some shit.
Ideas. Thank you, Esteban. Rick's like, I'm sorry. I'm formulating a plan of how I'm going to become a soldier and get the F out of here. Prosthetic is helpful. It's a bit crude, but she'll get the job done. Okay, Rick kind of look good in black, though. Just saying, it look good in black. Not this. Sorry, that actor always plays an ass.
Welcome to the CRM.
I do eat here every day.
Around this time?
You
You're pretty eager, aren't you?
my man knows what he wants.
Maybe you are too.
Oh,
Oh. I'm not.
with those bedroom eyes. Okay, Michonne, sure. Can the man at least get peace in his dreams?
I am going to help you become part of Force Command within the CRM.
Why?
I tried to escape 4 times.
Right? Make it
did
make
this.
sense.
I tried to kill you.
It's just like, are you sane?
Everything is working when nothing else has.
People can't leave.
Yeah,
They're not free.
exactly. It's slavery.
The CRM designates people they find as A's and B's.
Please explain.
A's have a strength. A's will die for what they believe in. People follow A's.
Alphas, okay.
People, when we cross in the world, the few we bring in, they're classified as B's. Everyday people, being the monster to fight the monsters,
monsters,
that can't last. And this is why I need the two of you.
Interesting.
And A's who become soldiers, who become leaders, are the only thing that could possibly change the CRM.
I mean, Rick, we do know you have a history of going into new places and completely turning them on their heads.
Because I believe if either one of you had a chance to save the world, you would. You'd have to.
You're not wrong, at least about Rick. I get the idea, you know, defeat the beast from inside the belly.
Besa Manula Vate.
Okay, maybe she does now.
If I should at you, Grams, I won't miss. I won't graze you either.
Okay,
Listen, you are trying to get
But
back to.
she's not gone.
period.
She isn't. They aren't. We are.
I see her point, but I disagree wholeheartedly.
Let's grab a drink before we kill each other.
Each other? Ma'am, Rick was just trying to get back to his room and have his good dream again. You're the one talking about taking him out and stuff. I feel like you need to find a new man or something, because you are wound up.
Isn't that right?
This man can never get 2 minutes of peace.
Let me ask you a question, Grimes.
The answer is no, get away.
I don't expect you to answer, and you don't have to.
Good.
I'm just going to ask it and look in your eyes.
Yes, sir.
Close your eyes.
Why are you here? Do you want to kill?
Yes.
Or is all this just another attempt to escape?
I'm trying to survive.
You tell me.
That's right. You better reverse psychology his ass.
Secrets on secrets. And the only thing I cared about was holding on to mine.
I mean, I guess that's a good thing about being in a place that's full of secrets. Well, I guess it's a good thing you're right-handed, hey, Rick?
Oh, shit. Rick Grimes.
Oh, he actually did get in.
Under this manhole. I need you to tell me where it goes.
Dude, I am senior level water and power now.
Is this smart, Rick?
You know, the shit I would tell you would definitely not be that this tunnel would take you due east.
You're a solid one, Esteban.
I 100% wouldn't tell you that the code to open it's 4399.
Esteban, I want to squeeze your bald head.
So don't fucking die, okay?
Michonne will kill you if you do.
There's no escape for the living. So I
Okay.
had to make sure.
I was
They
down.
thought I was dead.
Okay. All right, Rick. I'm not against it. You know, a little strategizing.
No! God damn it.
Gotta be kidding me. Oh, it was so perfect and that little girl ruined it. You know Rick has a soft spot for children since episode 1.
And we are all gonna go back there. All
You
of
hear
us.
what she said? All,
He knows about you, Grimes. Come on.
Yeah, you keep forgetting. Well, actually, he doesn't know, right? It isn't showing yet that he knows that Jadis is the one who brought him in, and Jadis has probably told them everything about him and where he's trying to get back to. And based on what we know, if he goes back, he's just going to endanger everybody back in. Oh God, what's the name of the settlement now? But yeah, Michonne and everybody else who's there.
I went to Red Island to find the bottle. That was her on the phone, right? Yeah, I looked through those too. The child was your daughter, right? Michonne is an unusual name. Not many people out there, but if you start the search around where we picked you up. So,
The fact that he's so chill telling you this, bro.
My wife is my choice.
He called her his wife. Stop. Sorry, stop.
You live for those people in that city because you got nothing else but your duty. Percentages
know that?
and yields.
Do you know that though, Rick?
Good soldier with nothing.
Yep. So, you pushed a button.
I lost everything!
Yeah, you don't know.
Another city died for nothing! And I had power, and I had a choice.
Your turn to listen, Rick. Can you boys not get along, please? Oh,
Do it.
you won't do that either.
But you fight here now. You fight for them.
This indoctrination BS.
I'm moving you to logistics with Thorn.
I don't want to be with Thorn. She's a jerk.
This is the start of your path to the higher echelons of power.
The way he just switched right back into the indoctrination.
You have to see this.
Excuse me? Can you knock? This is my room.
I know this is the answer. This is the place that will create the future, and Portland needs to follow our lead.
Okay, keep drinking the Kool-Aid.
I'm not sorry. I saved your life even when you didn't want it to be saved.
He's like, that's sweet. Can you get out of my room, ma'am?
You saved my life.
Exactly. That was my drink.
One more good man to try and save the world. Whether he wants to or not.
If you could exit my room, please. You should clean up the glass first, but whatevs. Thorn is living up to her name. She's really becoming one in your side, sir. Just because she wants to bury her head in the sand does not mean she needs to drag Rick with her. Please. Okay, so we're back to the beginning now. Okay, so this is how we got to this point. I mean, amongst many other things.
I've been writing you letters the whole time, reaching out to feel something. Writing just it.
She's there, babe.
I don't see you anymore.
Stop.
I love you so much. I tried.
No.
Please,
Don't
just
give
know
up.
I tried. But I failed.
You're gonna end. Okay. I'm like, please don't end it here. Oh, his dream. Is she not gonna show up now? Ooh, and all
This is a
white
pretty
tonight.
bird, no?
Slaying the clothes.
We can make this whole damn world ours if we want to.
You better recognize that is a queen. She reigns. She needs a king. Come on.
And a wedding ring.
I think you should do that.
I do too. We haven't seen a Michonne kiss in years. What's happening? Damn, not his beautiful dreams now being interrupted by the violence.
Anything on your mind, you rarely say shit these days, Rick.
Yeah, because you killed his spirit. Happy? Is that what you wanted?
That it was just the burning. That the flames are protecting the plants for the next harvest.
Aw.
And it was okay. We got a new barn, new house. Next year, the harvest was the best it ever was.
Fire is the best fertilizer.
That it wasn't lightning. That he'd lit the fire. The
Insurance.
farm was gonna fail. He saved us.
Technically, he committed a crime, but okay.
I thought he was the most honest man I knew. It just reminded him that he saved us.
It's a way to look at it.
I'm in.
Get it.
Swear on the sword. Don't hesitate. You know. You know.
What? Where did that even come from? What the? Where did that come from? The hell is happening? Where is this happening? Where is it coming from?
We're taking fire!
Clearly, what do you... I don't understand where this is coming from. Oh, God. R.I.P. Okafor? Jesus.
4-6, 3 points starting at left exit.
Oh, he's with the red stripes, too. Okay, someone is not messing around. And what kind of, who has this level of explosives? That's what I want to know. So whoever this is working with some serious firepower. That's a sword. Michonne, is that you, baby? Who are you with? I hate you. I hate you, show. How do you end it there? Oh my gosh. All right, I think they said there was some stuff for the rest of the season. I am not going to spoil myself, so we're going to end there. Oh my gosh, that first episode was a lot. Oh my gosh, I'm starting to get teared up. I'm starting to get teared up with the reunion. Not quite the way I expected it to go, but here we are. Here we are. Wow, so much symbolism in this episode. Yeah, it lived up to the name. Years, we got to see what was going on with Rick over all that time, which makes sense because obviously we already knew what was happening on Michonne's, well, the exception of after she left Alexandria. That was the name I could not remember during the reaction. We don't know what happened, which was potentially, I guess about 2 years? It's so hard. The show is always bad with timelines. But anyway, that's the only thing we're missing, but we really had no idea what happened with Rick from the bridge onward. And there was a long, long stretch of time between that. And it was good to finally get that information, to finally know what Rick's been doing, how he's been handled. Like, we obviously knew that the CRM had him. And I say obviously because at first we had no idea who Jadis was associated with. We didn't know anything about them. Obviously, people who read the graphic novel knew who they were, but I am not one of those people. So anyway, then I watched The Walking Dead World Beyond. And that's where we learned more about the CRM, and I recognized that, yeah, Rick definitely ended up with these people because Jadis, of course, was in that show as well, and she kind of made some allusions to Rick during that show as well. So we know that she is going to be part of this in some way, shape, or form. I'm fine that we didn't see her in this particular episode, but it's also good to know that Rick still has no interfacing with her. Like, he has no idea that Jadis is here or a part of them. And at first I thought when they said earlier in the episode that there was someone from up high that was looking out for Rick, I thought maybe it was Jadis, but then I also realized that Jadis has no reason to have that level of loyalty to Rick, right? I mean, she had a little bit of gratitude to him for taking her in after the whole Negan incident, but I feel like she felt like that debt was erased by bringing him to the CRM instead of letting him effectively die on that bridge, because that was what was going to happen with the wounds that he had. But anyway, we got to see what Rick has been going through. We see that he absolutely did what we expected. He tried to escape several times, but the CRM is the most organized group he's ever gone up against. This is not just a small level operation like the governor or even Negan. This is like an organized network of actual trained military professionals who have high grade equipment and weapons, right? So the point was Rick did not understand the scale of who he was going up against. And that's why, unfortunately, all of his escape attempts didn't work out. And we see that his most, shall we say, desperate attempt. Well, no, I'd say the most desperate attempt that he made was cutting off his hand, which again, I was so sad that that happened. I know that in the graphic novel, that Rick lost his hand, but it was not like this. This is, due to something else. And we heard from Robert Kirkman that when they were producing the show, they decided not to do that because they just felt like it didn't work well for the story they were telling. I kind of like that. I was really a fan of Rick not losing his hand, but unfortunately, I guess they decided it was the right thing to do in this story. It is what it is. I really wish he still had his hand, but out of all things, I suppose it's not the worst thing for him to have lost. But we see it just shows us the level of desperation that Rick had to get away from these people, but more importantly, that he just wants to get back to his family. Michonne and Judith, he does not know about RJ yet, but yes, these are his family. This is what Rick has always fought for. What's driven Rick since episode 1 of this show, of the Walking Dead franchise, was protecting his family and the people he cares about. That's what drives Rick. That's what pushes Rick to be a leader. That's what pushes Rick to be a monster if he has to be. Like, whatever he has to be, whatever leadership he needs to take, whatever moves he has to take, it's always with the mindset of how do I protect my family and the people I love. So it's not surprising that he was continuing to do this and literally risk everything to try to get back to his family. And when we see Okafor, we were introduced to his character. This is somebody that saw something in Rick, aka recognized that this man has a survival instinct and a leadership ability about him that is really unmistakable. Because that's one thing, no matter who Rick's gone up against, with the exception of a few of the smaller villains in the main show, they've always, whether they liked Rick or not, they always respected Rick because he really does have a quality about him that's unmistakable. Like, he really does have a fire to protect the people he cares about and that survival instinct at all costs. Like, you can't not respect it, I guess is my point. So Okafor saw this, and that's why he didn't just, because most people after one escape attempt would usually be enough, right? For most people to say, this guy is a lost cause, get rid of him. But Okafor is like, no, there's something in this guy. I think he's the kind of guy that I need for something that I want to do. And we see that Rick didn't know what that was and resisted it for a long time. Apparently 4 years, 3 or 4 years, he resisted it. And we see that Okafor wanted him to join the CRM military and to basically move up the ranks. And Rick didn't understand why, because he's like, no, like if I join the ranks, that means I'm staying. That's like the mentality means that I'm staying and I'm not going to try to run away anymore. And I'm not ready to let go of the idea of leaving this place. But we see that Okafor, there's a theme throughout the whole episode of Okafor being like, you need to accept that this is your new reality. Like you can't keep living in the past. Like you can't go back to your old life. You have to move forward with what is. Like he said, you need to stop looking at what was and focus on what is. And he's not wrong about that. Like this is what was really interesting about this episode, because obviously as a Rishoner, I want him to leave. I want him to go back to his family. But understanding where Okafor is coming from, he's like, truthfully, Rick was kind of, his attempts weren't working, I guess is my point. 4 escape attempts and a hand lost. Clearly you're not going to escape the way you want, right? It's not working out well for you. And so I get where Okafor was kind of like trying to get through to Rick in different ways, that if you accept the way things are right now, this will make it less of a torment for you. You'll actually be able to get all that weight off of your mind and your heart if you focus on the present and don't try to live in the past. And I like how they showed how in the beginning Rick kept having these beautiful, fantastical dreams about Michonne, and like if they'd met in the old world and, you know, romancing her and courting her. And I mean, from my Michonne heart, I loved it. But it really was kind of keeping him in a place that was not the reality of it all, right? Again, it was taking him away from the reality and not helping him focus on the present. And that really wasn't helping him. Like he was miserable, right? He was really, really miserable. And they had the other character of, what was her name now? The South African girl? Thorne. She annoys me at the moment, but we'll see what happens. I mean, we wouldn't be introduced to her without a reason, I don't think. But anyway, her and, you know, Thorne was kind of set up as a juxtaposition of Rick, right? Apparently, we heard from Okafor that Thorne was much like Rick. She tried to escape, and finally now she kind of had settled in. And we see that after his escape attempt, when he lost his hand, we hear her say, like, thanks for showing me that there's no way I'm getting out of here. And Rick's kind of like, hey, whatever. But again, when Rick finally decided to join, he does it not because he thinks he's accepting anything yet. He does it because he's like, okay, if I get in this program and I play along, I'll hopefully get enough freedom so that at one point I'll finally be able to leave, you know. So this is why he does it. And we see that Thorne does it as well, because she seems to be just following Rick and what Rick does, which again, like I said, Rick has this quality about him that inspires people to follow him, whether he wants them to or not. But anyway, we see that he goes through the whole program, and again, he does it just because he wants to get that freedom. He thinks if I do this and they start to trust me more, that will give me the space I finally need to make my escape. And he does. He sits there, he plans, he eventually gets access to things like maps and tunnels. He uses his friend Esteban, who was a cute little side character in this episode, and he's like, how do I get out? Like, this is a way for me to get through, get out of the city. The plan in of itself did not sound too bad, and truthfully, Rick probably would have gotten a fairly good distance before they caught up to him, especially because he understood more of like how the military would have looked for him and what protocols they would have. But we see that his perfect plan was foiled because of walkers being walkers, first of all, but also we see there's a little girl that showed up, and we all know that Rick has got a real soft spot for little kids. No way is he going to risk hurting that little girl just to leave, right? That he wasn't that desperate. And that, of course, foiled his entire plan. And we discover that night as well that Thorne says to him, I saw the whole thing, and this is why I'm protecting you. Now, it's interesting that she said that, because she says she saw the whole thing. Was she going to wait until Rick was about to throw them grenade? Was she going to let him escape? And then, like, I don't know. I get the sense that she was actually going to let him go, because I'm like, if you saw that, you could have shot him way before he got to that point or told him to stop. How far were you going to let him go? Right? So anyway, Thorne's a bit of an anomaly, but anyhow, so that gets foiled, and she tries to tell him that, like, get it through your head. Like, you can't get out of here. Like, you can't go. You need to just come back to the base with us, right? So Rick does go back, because he realizes at that point his timing's all off. He goes back, and then Thorne has that conversation with him, rudely just walks in. But anyways, this is after Omaha Falls. And again, I believe that was referred to in The World Beyond, what happened there. And in The World Beyond, we already learned that the CRM is corrupt as you know what. Like, they take out all the cities. Like, they don't want to share resources. And that's the main reason. So Omaha was likely taken out by the CRM, but of course they're not going to put that on their news station. But anyway, this shakes up Thorne to the point where she's like, look, I need to believe that this is going to work because I can't go back to my family. I can't go back to where I want to go. And I need to stay alive because the people that I love would want me to do that. And I need you to understand that you need to do the same thing and that we need to like make the CRM work so that we can make sure that the rest of the world stays safe, right? So I get where she's coming from in a way. I don't actually think she believes it. I think she's just thinking, I need to find something to justify why I'm here. And I do think that her looking at Rick refusing to give up is making her feel guilty about the fact that she's willing to give up, right? Like you got to realize any beef people have with anyone it's all about themselves, right? She's projecting onto Rick her own inner dialogue around the fact that she's kind of given up to the system, even though she really doesn't think it's the right thing to do. And Rick keeps bringing that out. He's like, we're not free. We're slaves. We can't leave. Then she says the golden key. She says to Rick, they know, Okafor knows about you. He knows things about you. So there is no escaping here, no matter what. So it rings a bell for him there. He goes and talks to Okafor and they have a very interesting moment/conversation. And Rick basically is like, what do you know about me? And homie's like, well, I read the letters that you tried to leave on the boat, which again is sad. I mean, it's interesting because I must have been in the second. Yeah, he said escape attempt number 2. Because in the first one, we know that Michonne has the phone and has some of Rick's stuff, but she obviously didn't get the note. And so he said he stole the note, read the note. He knows that her name is Michonne. And like he said, he sent people to ask around the area. And again, like he said, her name is very unique. There can't be that many Michonnes. And he was able to figure out, and we all know that, that Alexandria had a lot of influence, and of course what Michonne was doing back at that time, trying to create alliances with neighboring communities, her name would have floated around, is my point. So he basically was letting Rick know, we know exactly who Michonne is, we know where she is, we know her people, we know that you have a daughter, letting him know that even if you did, he's like, if you escaped and you actually managed to make it back to them, I would be sent to clean up your mess, or my mess, sorry. And then I'd have to take you out, and I'd have to take about anybody that you came in contact with because there's a chance you told them about us. So basically letting Rick know that there is no escape, really. Even if he got back home, they would always be hunted by the CRM. Anyone and anything they touched after that would have the CRM coming after them. So Rick, of course, lost it and beat him up a little bit. And then he said the magic words, which again, Rick is very understandably, he's consumed in his own grief. He's consumed in his own anger. And he says to him, like, you don't have anything. Like, the reason you're doing all this is because you have nothing outside of this. And again, this was very ignorant of Rick because he doesn't know anything about Okafor. Has he ever asked? He didn't care, right? So Okafor, that's when he finally loses it. And he lets Rick know, he's like, actually, I have lost. And he talks about his wife and how, unfortunately, she was sacrificed for the cause. And that was kind of his breaking point, and also why he feels that instead of running away, which again would not have worked for him, he said, I'm trying to change this whole thing from the inside. And then we find out that that's the reason why he's so intent on having Rick and Thorne. They're both people who are strong-minded and independent-minded and have leadership skills. And he's like, you're the kind of people that can affect change within the CRM and eventually, hopefully, the city, so that we can stop this whole AB thing and create a better society. And so Rick is kind of like, listen, I really don't believe in all this. I don't care what you're saying. Thorne is like, I don't even know if I want to get that deeply involved. I kind of just want to keep staying alive. And so that's kind of what we learn about what Okafor's big plan is. And again, it's not wrong. I see where Okafor is coming from. He's not wrong in some senses, but I also think he's being a bit naive, right? Because he hasn't even seen the upper echelon. How does he even know that they're going to change their minds? And a lot of times in situations like this, clearly the city and the top ranking military officials are people who want the best for them few and the least for the many. So they're not going to want to change where things are because that would mean they have to share what they have, and they don't want to do that. So anyway, I respect Okafor's vision, however, and he's not wrong overall that you should be able to make changes from the top and have them roll down. But anyhow, we see that after that, Rick basically has a lot to think about, and he finally accepts the fact, like after he gets to a point of almost taking his own life, because he's like, I don't know what's left to live for. Like, I can't leave this place. I don't want to be in this place. I don't know what else to do. Like, and no one will take me out, you know, because he even asked Okafor at one point to pull the trigger, and Okafor is like, I'm not going to be the one to do that. So we see that Rick has that kind of rock bottom moment, and then he finally writes this last letter, and he's like, this is going to be it. Like, I've been writing to you knowing you're not going to get these letters. I've been holding on to you. I've been imagining you, but now I need to let that go. And of course it feels heartbreaking, especially as a Rishoner, to hear that, but I understand what he's saying, in that if he's going to continue on, because we see that he couldn't do it. He couldn't take his own life. He has to find a way to move forward. And living in the past was causing him more pain than it was giving him more motivation at that point. And so I understood that at that point he had to make a choice of how do I move forward? How do I live going forward so I can live with less pain? And that meant letting go of the past and letting go of the idea that he was going to get the life that he had before back. We saw that even his dreams that he would kind of escape to started to be crossing over with all of the violence and what was going on in his life currently. So, you know, I understood that too. After 6 years, you're going to start losing someone mentally too. The ideas of them and their voices and all those things are going to start to fade. So, and we see that he kind of went back to, apparently we found out from Esteban, he didn't even talk for the first 2 years for the most part, but he kind of went back into that reclusive, quiet side of himself. And then we see in that last scene that Okafor was like, I don't know what's going on with you these days, like what's happening. And Rick finally just says, you know, he gives us that interesting story about his dad who set fire to their farm when he was little to get the insurance money because apparently things were not going well. But he said that the reason he did it was because it was the only way to save the farm. And we see that his father even got burnt in the process. But Rick, what he said, we found out what his dad did that. It hurt him because he thought his dad was honest. And his mom basically explained that, you know, his dad did what he thought was best for his family. He felt like that was what was necessary to survive and to protect his family, even if it wasn't his proudest moment. And that he looked at his scars as a reminder that he saved his family. I think that's the way that Rick is trying to justify now giving up on the idea of trying to go back to Michonne and his family, is that even though it cuts him and it's left scars, that's the price of protecting his family. Yeah, I really like the comparison and the symbolism in that story. And then he tells Okafor at that point that he's in, meaning that he's not going to try to run away anymore. Like, that's it. And then all hell breaks loose. We see that some people go after them, take down their chopper. Okafor is gone in a second. RIP, bro. And the chopper's taken down. And we see that most of the CRM soldiers are taken out by none other than Queen Michonne. And then she's just about to go up to Rick. Thank God she takes his mask off, because most of the other two, you notice, she didn't even take their masks off. She takes off his mask, and thank God she does. And they have that moment, and then we end it. We don't get to see what happens, but they are both absolutely gobsmacked, and understandably, right? Michonne knows he's still alive, but she's no idea where he is, and at this point, if she's ever going to find him. And then Rick, who'd finally resigned himself to the fact that he was never going to see her again. And now here she is. So this is going to make for some interesting times going forward. We're going to see, I guess, in the next episode, is Rick really resigned to what he said? Is it true that he's in? Is he going to want to send Michonne on her way? Is he going to try to get her to leave now because he knows the repercussions that could occur if he tries to leave with her? And if that's the case, how's Michonne going to take that? Is she going to be able to change his mind? I mean, we know from the past, she was the one person who could do so. But yeah, they're both very different people than they were the last time they saw each other. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this is going to all work out and what the emotions and mental states are going to be as they work through this new reunion. So good episode, guys. Good start. Lots of heavy stuff to begin with, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and let me know what you're thinking in the comments. What are your thoughts about this first episode, and where do you think Rick's head's going to be at? Give me your predictions in the comments below. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.